Unexpected visitors. The crisp mountain air filled Dr. Samantha Chen's lungs as she adjusted the massive radio telescope. Stars twinkled overhead, oblivious to the groundbreaking work happening at the remote observatory. As lead astronomer of Project SETIX, Samantha had dedicated her career to searching for extraterrestrial intelligence. Tonight felt different somehow, electric with possibility. A loud beep from her console shattered the night silence. Samantha's heart raced as she rushed to analyze the incoming signal. It was unlike anything she'd ever seen. A clear, repeating pattern that couldn't be natural. "Holy shit," she whispered. "We're not alone." Thousands of miles away, in a top-secret military bunker, General Marcus Steele received an urgent call. His weathered face grew grim as he listened to the Pentagon briefing. Unidentified objects had entered Earth's atmosphere, descending rapidly towards major cities worldwide. "Mobilize all forces," Steele barked, "and get me the president. We're at Death Zone 1." As panic erupted across the globe, a sleek, silver craft touched down in New York's Central Park. A hush fell over the gathered crowd as a hatch opened with a hiss of escaping air. 3 tall, willowy figures emerged, their iridescent skin shimmering in the early morning light. The alien in the center raised a hand in what seemed to be a gesture of peace. When it spoke, its melodious voice carried effortlessly across the park. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Zarkuli, and we bring you a great opportunity." Meanwhile, in a small town in Kansas, high school physics teacher John Cooper watched the events unfold on his battered TV. Unlike the fear gripping many, John felt a surge of excitement. This was humanity's moment to prove itself, to show the universe what they were made of. Little did John know, he would soon play a pivotal role in humanity's cosmic debut. Back in New York, the Zarkuli spokesperson continued, "We have observed your species for many of your years. You are young, but show great potential. We offer you a chance to join the Galactic Confederation. But first, you must prove yourselves worthy." General Steele, now at the UN with world leaders, leaned forward. "And how exactly do we do that?" he asked, his voice a mix of suspicion and curiosity. The alien's multifaceted eyes seemed to twinkle with amusement. "A series of trials, of course. Physical, mental, and moral challenges to test your species' mettle. Succeed, and the knowledge of 1,000 worlds will be yours. Fail." The alien paused dramatically, "and your planet will be quarantined, left to develop on its own for another millennium." A murmur rippled through the assembled leaders. The stakes couldn't be higher. "Who will represent humanity in these trials?" a French diplomat asked. The Zarkuli gestured gracefully. "We do not choose. Your planet's resonant field will select those best suited. The trials begin in one rotation of your planet." As the aliens retreated to their ship, Earth erupted into a frenzy of preparation. Governments scrambled to assemble their best and brightest, but the Zarkuli's words about Earth itself choosing hung heavy in the air. In her observatory, Samantha worked tirelessly to decipher more of the alien signals. In his classroom, John inspired his students with the incredible possibilities the future now held, and in his command center, General Steele prepared for any eventuality, peaceful or otherwise. As the sun set on this historic day, humanity held its collective breath. In less than 24 hours, their future among the stars would begin to be written. The trials were coming, and Earth would need every ounce of human ingenuity, courage, and compassion to prove itself worthy of the cosmos. Little did they know, the true nature of the trials would test humanity in ways they could never have imagined, and heroes would rise from the most unexpected places. The challenge, a test of human mettle. The day of reckoning dawned bright and clear. Across the globe, billions waited with bated breath to learn who would represent humanity in the Zarkuli trials. As the alien ship hovering above New York began to pulse with an otherworldly light, the answer came in a most unexpected way. Samantha Chen was calibrating her instruments when a tingling sensation washed over her. In Kansas, John Cooper was midway through a lecture on quantum mechanics when he suddenly felt weightless. And in Washington, D.C., General Steele found himself enveloped in a soft, blue glow. In an instant, all three vanished from sight. They rematerialized on what appeared to be the bridge of the Zarkali ship, along with a dozen other confused-looking humans from various walks of life. A young Ethiopian farmer stood next to a Russian ballet dancer. A Brazilian street artist blinked in wonder beside an Indian neurosurgeon. The Zarkali spokesperson stepped forward, its crystalline form refracting the starlight streaming through the ship's transparent hull. "Welcome, champions of Earth. You have been chosen not by your governments or institutions, but by the very essence of your planet. You represent the full spectrum of human potential." General Steele, ever the tactician, spoke first. "What exactly are these trials? How do we prepare?" The alien's multifaceted eyes twinkled with what might have been amusement. "The trials are three: body, mind, and heart. Each will test you in ways you cannot anticipate. Preparation is living as you have lived, being human." Samantha's scientific curiosity overcame her initial shock. "And if we succeed, what then?" "Then," the Zarkali's voice resonated with promise, "your species will gain access to knowledge that will catapult your civilization forward by millennia. Faster than light travel, clean, limitless energy, the cure for all disease, all this and more could be yours." A murmur of excitement rippled through the assembled humans. John Cooper, the teacher, raised his hand out of habit before speaking. "And if we fail?" The alien's form seemed to dim slightly. "Then you will be returned to Earth, and your planet will remain in isolation until you are deemed ready to try again. This is not a punishment, but a protective measure. The galaxy can be unforgiving to unprepared species." As the implications sank in, the Zarkali continued. "The first trial begins now. We travel to the Crucible, an artificial world created for such tests. There, your bodies will be pushed to their limits." With a gesture, the alien activated a shimmering portal. Beyond it, a harsh landscape of twisted metal and pulsing energy beckoned. "Wait," Samantha called out. "Don't we get any time to?" But it was too late. An unseen force pulled them through the portal. They tumbled onto hot, unyielding ground, the portal snapping shut behind them. General Steele was the first to his feet, years of military training kicking in. "Everyone okay?" "Sound off." As the group gathered themselves, they took in their surroundings. The sky above was a roiling mass of purple storm clouds, occasionally split by forks of green lightning. The terrain was a maze of towering metal structures, crackling energy fields, and yawning chasms. A booming voice echoed across the landscape. "Humans of Earth, your first trial is one of physical endurance and teamwork. Reach the beacon at the center of the Crucible. You have one planetary rotation. Those who do not arrive will not continue to the next trial. Begin." In the distance, a pillar of blue light shot into the turbulent sky. John Cooper dusted himself off, a glint of excitement in his eyes despite the dire situation. "Well, folks, looks like we're in for one hell of a field trip. Shall we?" Samantha nodded, already analyzing the terrain. "We should stick together. Safety in numbers." General Steele's eyes narrowed as he scanned the horizon. "Agreed. But be on guard. I doubt this Crucible got its name for being a walk in the park." As if in response, a distant roar echoed across the metallic landscape. The humans exchanged nervous glances. "Right," said the Ethiopian farmer, rolling up his sleeves. "Let's show these aliens what humans are made of." With determination in their hearts and the fate of Earth on their shoulders, the unlikely team of human champions set off towards the beacon. Little did they know, the true challenges of the Crucible and the depths of human potential were yet to be revealed. The first trial had begun, and with it, humanity's audition for the cosmic stage. Turning the tables, human ingenuity shines. The group of human champions had been trekking through the alien landscape of the Crucible for what felt like hours. The beacon still pulsed in the distance, seeming no closer than when they'd started. Fatigue and frustration were setting in. "This is impossible," panted the Russian ballet dancer, Anastasia. "The terrain keeps shifting. It's like we're running in circles." John Cooper, the physics teacher, paused to examine a nearby structure. Its surface rippled like liquid metal. "Maybe that's exactly what's happening," he mused. "This whole place could be reconfiguring itself to keep us from reaching the goal." Samantha's eyes lit up. "Of course. It's not just a physical test. It's a puzzle. We need to outsmart the Crucible, not just power through it." General Steele nodded grimly. "All right, people. Time to put our heads together. What resources do we have?" As the group pooled their knowledge and skills, a plan began to form. The Indian neurosurgeon, Dr. Patel, had noticed patterns in the energy pulses coursing through the metallic structures. John's physics background helped decode these patterns, while Samantha's analytical skills found the underlying logic. "If we're right," Samantha explained, pointing to a crude map they'd sketched in the dust, "the Crucible reconfigures in a predictable sequence. We can use that to our advantage." The Brazilian street artist, Rico, grinned, like timing a spray paint run between security patrols. "I can work with that." As they set their plan in motion, each member of the team found their unique skills coming into play. Anastasia's grace and balance helped navigate treacherous, shifting platforms. The Ethiopian farmer, Demisi, used his knowledge of irrigation to reroute energy flows, creating safe passages. General Steele's tactical experience kept them organized and moving efficiently. Even skills that seemed useless at first proved vital. Rico's artistic eye spotted camouflage dangers others missed, while Dr. Patel's steady hands disarmed hair-trigger traps. But it wasn't just their individual talents that made the difference. As they faced challenge after challenge, the humans began to work together with an almost intuitive synchronicity. They anticipated each other's needs, covered weaknesses, and amplified strengths. Halfway to the beacon, they encountered their greatest obstacle yet, a massive chasm with no visible way across. As the group caught their breath, John stared at the gulf with a thoughtful expression. "You know," he said slowly, "we've been thinking of this place as an obstacle course. But what if it's more than that? What if it's a tool we can use?" Samantha caught on quickly. "You're right. The whole Crucible responds to our actions, if we can understand its language." Working together, they began to manipulate the energy flows of the Crucible itself. Under their guidance, the liquid metal structures began to shift and flow, forming a bridge across the chasm. As they crossed their self-made path, Demisi laughed in wonder. "We're not just solving the puzzle," he said. "We're rewriting it." The final stretch to the beacon was a blur of coordinated action. The humans moved as one, anticipating and countering the Crucible's attempts to stymie them. With a final sprint, they reached the pillar of light just as the alien sun began to set. As they caught their breath, the familiar voice of the Tsar Kelly filled the air. "Impressive, humans. You have not only completed the trial, but have done so in a manner we did not anticipate. Your ability to adapt, to turn obstacles into opportunities, is noteworthy." The team exchanged tired but triumphant smiles. They had passed the first test, but more importantly, they had discovered a strength greater than any of them possessed individually. As the Crucible dissolved around them, returning them to the Zarkali ship, General Steele spoke for the group. "We're ready for whatever comes next." The Zarkali's multifaceted eyes seemed to glitter with something like respect. "We shall see, humans. The trial of the mind awaits, and with it, challenges beyond your imagining." As they prepared for the next test, the human champions felt a newfound confidence. They had proven that humanity's greatest strength lay not in brute force or individual brilliance, but in their ability to come together, to innovate, and to transform the very nature of the challenge before them. The trial of the mind loomed, but for the first time since this cosmic audition began, the future of humanity looked bright indeed. Alliance and understanding. Bridging two worlds. The human champions materialized in what appeared to be a vast, shimmering library. Bookshelves stretched endlessly in all directions, their contents a mix of familiar tomes and alien artifacts pulsing with otherworldly energy. The Zarkeli spokesperson emerged from between two towering shelves. "Welcome to the Cosmic Archive, repository of knowledge from across the galaxy. Your trial of the mind begins here." Samantha's eyes widened with excitement. "This is incredible. The scientific knowledge here must be beyond your current comprehension." The Zarkeli interrupted gently. "Which is precisely the point of this trial. You must expand your minds beyond the limits of human understanding." John Cooper stepped forward, his teacher's instincts kicking in. "How exactly do we do that?" The alien gestured, and a holographic display appeared before them. "You will be presented with problems facing various civilizations across the galaxy. Using the knowledge available here, you must find solutions. But be warned, the consequences of your choices will ripple across star systems. Choose wisely." With that, the Zarkeli vanished, leaving the humans alone in the vast archive. General Steele took charge. "All right, team. Let's split up and start researching. We'll reconvene to tackle these problems together." As they dispersed among the shelves, each champion found themselves drawn to different areas of knowledge. Samantha lost herself in advanced astrophysics, while Dr. Paddle explored medical techniques that seemed like magic. Rico found himself entranced by records of alien art movements, seeing connections to human creativity he never imagined possible. Hours passed like minutes as they absorbed knowledge at an astonishing rate. When they finally regrouped, their minds were buzzing with new ideas and perspectives. The first problem appeared on the holographic display: a planet facing imminent ecological collapse due to runaway industrialization. "This reminds me of Earth's climate crisis," Demissy said, "but on a much larger scale." They debated various solutions, drawing on their newfound knowledge. Traditional terraform methods wouldn't work fast enough. Evacuating the population wasn't feasible. As they argued, Anastasia, who had been quiet, suddenly spoke up. "What if we don't fix the planet?" she said. "What if we change the inhabitants instead?" The idea was radical, using advanced bioengineering to rapidly evolve the planet's population to survive in the changing environment. It was a solution that challenged their human notions of ethics and identity. After much debate, they submitted their proposal. The Zarkeli's voice echoed through the archive. "An unexpected solution. Risky, but with potential for success. You think outside traditional boundaries. Intriguing." As they faced more problems, the human champions found themselves pushing beyond what they once thought possible. They engineered peace treaties between silicon-based and carbon-based life forms. They devised new forms of faster-than-light travel by bending the fabric of space-time itself. With each solution, they felt their minds expanding, grasping concepts that would have been incomprehensible just days ago. But more than that, they were learning to see the universe from perspectives vastly different from their human outlook. The final problem was the most challenging yet: a galactic war that had raged for millennia, with both sides too entrenched in their positions to consider peace. As they pored over the conflict's history, John had an epiphany. "We're looking at this all wrong," he said. "We're trying to solve the war, but what if we remove the reason for fighting in the first place?" Working together, they crafted a daring plan. Using their combined knowledge of physics, biology, and even art, they proposed creating a shared virtual reality where both species could coexist without physical limitations. It was a solution that required both sides to transcend their physical forms and redefine their very concept of existence. As they submitted their final proposal, a slow clap echoed through the archive. The Zarkeli materialized, its crystalline form seeming to glow with approval. "Remarkable," it said. "You have not only found solutions but have demonstrated a capacity for growth and adaptation beyond our expectations. Your species thinks in ways unique among those we have tested." The human champions exchanged proud glances, But the Zarkuli wasn't finished. However, knowledge and intellect are not everything. Your final trial approaches. The trial of the heart. It will test not what you know, but who you are. As the archive faded around them, replaced by a new, mysterious environment, the humans felt a mix of anticipation and apprehension. They had proven their bodies capable and their minds adaptable. But what challenges awaited that would test their very essence as human beings? The trial of the heart loomed before them, promising to push humanity to its very limits, and perhaps beyond. A new era. Humanity takes its place among the stars. The human champions found themselves in a featureless white space, a stark contrast to the complex environments of their previous trials. The Zarkuli appeared before them, its form somehow both more solid and more ethereal than before. "You have proven your physical prowess and mental acuity," it said, its voice resonating on a deeper level than mere sound. "But the true measure of a species lies in its heart, its capacity for empathy, compassion, and growth. This final trial will test the very essence of what makes you human." The white space shimmered, and suddenly they were surrounded by holographic projections of various alien species, some humanoid, others completely foreign in form. Each projection emitted waves of emotion: fear, anger, joy, sorrow. "You must connect with these beings," the Zarkuli explained. "Understand them, help them. But be warned, their realities may challenge everything you believe about yourselves and the universe." As the trial began, the human champions found themselves immersed in the lives and cultures of countless alien civilizations. They experienced the hive-mind existence of insectoid species, felt the ancient wisdom of gaseous beings older than stars, and grappled with the fluid morality of shapeshifters. Each experience pushed them to their emotional and ethical limits. General Steele, used to clear-cut military decisions, struggled with a pacifist race facing extinction. Samantha's scientific worldview was challenged by beings who manipulated reality through pure belief. John Cooper found himself teaching concepts of individuality to a collective consciousness, while Dr. Patel grappled with healing beings whose very concept of life and death differed radically from humanity's. Through it all, they leaned on each other, sharing insights and offering support. They discovered that their human experiences, though limited in cosmic scope, offered unique perspectives that even ancient alien cultures found valuable. As the trial progressed, something unexpected began to happen. The emotions and experiences of the alien beings began to blend with their own. They found themselves changing, expanding, becoming something more than just human, but not losing their humanity in the process. In the final moment of the trial, they faced a being of pure energy, incomprehensible in its totality. As they struggled to connect, they instinctively joined hands. In that moment of unity, they reached out not as individuals, but as representatives of humanity as a whole. A burst of understanding flooded through them. They saw the universe as this being did, a vast, interconnected web of life and energy. They felt the joys and sorrows of countless civilizations, the birth and death of stars, the very pulse of the cosmos itself. As the vision faded, they found themselves back on the Zarkuli ship, forever changed by what they had experienced. The Zarkuli regarded them with what could only be described as awe. "In all our years of testing species," it said, its voice thick with emotion, "we have never witnessed such adaptation, such growth. You entered this trial as humans. You emerge as something more, a bridge between worlds." The ship's view screen activated, showing Earth shimmering like a blue jewel in the void. "Your species has not only passed our trials," the Zarkuli continued, "but has exceeded them in ways we never imagined possible. Earth will be welcomed into the Galactic Confederation not as a junior member, but as equals." As the implications of this statement sank in, Samantha spoke up. "What happens now?" The Zarkuli's form seemed to smile. "Now, we learn from each other, your unique perspectives, your incredible capacity for adaptation and growth, your human ingenuity, as you call it. These are gifts the galaxy desperately needs. And in return, General Steele said, understanding dawning in his eyes, we gain the knowledge and wisdom of the cosmos. Indeed, the Zarkali confirmed. Together, we will forge a future brighter than either of us could achieve alone. As the ship began its descent back to Earth, the human champions looked at each other, seeing both their familiar colleagues and the incredible beings they had become. They had embarked on this journey to prove humanity's worth among the stars. In the end, they had not only secured humanity's place in the cosmos, but had expanded the very definition of what it meant to be human. As they prepared to share their experiences with the waiting world below, they knew that this was not an ending, but a beginning. Humanity's true journey among the stars was just beginning, and the universe would never be the same. The Zarkali's final words echoed in their minds as Earth grew larger in the view screen. Welcome, humans, to the greatest adventure of all, the future. And with that, a new chapter in human history began, one that would be written across the stars.